The Parking Peace Accord. How Chief Lana Serrano dismantled the HOA tyranny. It all began with something so small, you'd think it belonged in a group chat of minor suburban grievances, just another HOA complaint. One of those passive-aggressive notes slipped under a windshield wiper, the kind that usually dissolves into nothing. But this time, it sparked a full-blown war. It was the first week my wife, Lana Serrano, a newly promoted police chief, parked her unmarked department-issued cruiser on the public street in front of our home. We live on Pine Ridge Court, a picturesque neighborhood with manicured hedges, overpriced lawn ornaments, and in Fortunatelia, hyper-controlling HOA led by one woman, Karen Billings. The morning after Lana parked her vehicle, she found a pastel pink envelope tucked under the windshield wiper. It had a gold embossed seal that read, "Immediate HOA compliance requested." Inside was a formal warning, handwritten in cursive so decorative it practically twirled off the page. Karen cited Lana for unauthorized overnight vehicular presence under an obscure subsection that seemed to involve moonrise, lunar energy, and residential tranquility. Lana chuckled, thinking it was a quirky welcome prank. It wasn't. Later that day, Karen materialized on our front lawn, clipboard in hand, pen with a bobblehead American flag topper, and a demeanor sour enough to curdle milk. She had Lana's cruiser like it had personally insulted her topiary. "We take orders seriously here," she said, like she was swearing into the FBI. "This isn't a precinct. It's a cul-de-sac. We don't do chaos." Lana responded with the grace only a Latina police chief could master, calm, respectful, but unshakable. "The vehicle's parked legally, Karen," she replied and headed back inside. That was the moment Karen declared war. What followed wasn't mere overreach, it was HOA warfare redefined. Every morning came with a new note, citations for parking too confidently, curb appeal disruption, and even one claiming emotional instability via government insignia. Flyers appeared around the neighborhood featuring blurry, zoomed-in photos of Lana's car, with red circles like a grocery store tabloid. Who really lives on Pine Ridge Court? Some accused her of running a secret government surveillance op. Kids began whispering about the lady with the cop car. One parent even told us Karen had warned them not to let their children near the vehicle, in case she was undercover. Lana submitted a harassment complaint. Karen labeled it emotional projection unbecoming of a resident. The HOA board, in Karen's back pocket, did nothing. Then came the laminated Google Maps diagrams, annotated like a military campaign. Karen proposed a residential curb integrity mandate, language so cartoonish it might have come from a Dr. Seuss legal manual. It read, "No vehicle shall linger in visual proximity to any residence in a manner deemed emotionally disruptive." Lana attended the next HOA meeting, pointed at the municipal code, and calmly asked what emotionally disruptive meant in legal terms. Karen folded her arms and said, "It means don't park where people can see you and feel annoyed." That was her whole argument. Lana didn't argue back. She documented. Photos, notes, dashcam footage. "I don't believe in retaliation," she told me over tea. "But I do believe in receipts." Karen escalated. Flyers, neighborhood emails, a volunteer parking patrol squad consisting of herself, her disinterested husband Rick, and her college-aged niece Tiffany. They wore neon vests labeled community enforcers and patrolled with body cams and clipboards. She distributed a community poll asking, "Do you feel safe with this vehicle near your children?" and proudly announced 84% said no. She didn't mention all responses were from her own family. Karen's coup de grace? She tried to pass the Residential Harmony program, complete with budget for mandatory driveway inspections and decorum-based fines. It passed 32, thanks to votes she secured by promising spring gala tickets. Lana remained calm, but behind the scenes, she was building a folder. And then the turning point. While reviewing city zoning documents, Lana discovered Karen's own driveway extended 8 inches beyond regulation due to an unpermitted fence installation. The decorative lions at her entrance? Unauthorized architectural modifications under her own bylaws. Lana didn't confront her. She filed the violations anonymously. Meanwhile, Karen went full dystopia. She created threat profiles for neighbors based on vehicles and Spotify playlists. A kid on a bike got cited for tire pattern irregularity. A man in a Kia Soul got dinged for audio aggression. Then came her big mistake. Karen tried to block Lana's cruiser with her golf cart. "Submit your vehicle for decorum scanning," she demanded. Lana stepped out. Silent. Calm. "This is all being recorded," she said, pointing to the dash cam. Karen blinked, then later filed a complaint to the Civilian Review Board, claiming intimidation by law enforcement aura. That complaint ended up on Lana's desk. The neighborhood cracked. Kids made TikToks parodying Karen. One series, Karen Patrol, went viral. But the real unraveling came via an anonymous email to Lana's city inbox. Subject line: Karen Billings, HOA scam. Attached was a 10-page dossier, suspicious financial records, redacted receipts, and a slush fund called the Community Improvement Allowance, used to buy mood-calming oils, decorative enforcement wear, and spa retreats labeled as urban de-stress symposiums. Worse, the funds were routed through a PayPal account under Karen Barul's 88. Payments went to a fake landscaping company run by her cousin's boyfriend whose experience was limited to trimming weed plants. Lana cross-checked these with tax filings and city maintenance records. The fraud was so obvious, it glowed. Her deputy, Officer Melendez, found the final nail: a gas station security photo showing Karen meeting with a man convicted for embezzlement from a different HOA landscaper. This wasn't about parking. It was a laundering operation, dressed up in lawn decor and bylaws. Lana handed everything to the city's oversight committee and quietly prepared the final blow. It came at the next HOA town hall. Karen had transformed it into a faux neighborhood pride parade planning session. Lana arrived in uniform, accompanied by 2 plainclothes officers. She didn't shout. She didn't grandstand. She calmly presented the evidence on a projector: mails, financial trails, fake invoices, audio of Karen calling residents community idiots funding my vacation. Karen screamed, "This is an ambush. It's illegal." Lana simply replied, "No, Karen. This is the law. And I am the law." Karen was escorted out in handcuffs. The board expelled her permanently. Her dedicated Karen's Corner pathway was renamed Public Parking Plaza. But Karen, as always, wasn't done. She launched a YouTube channel, Coffee with Karen, sipping wine while calling Lana a decorum dictator. She printed "Save the HOA" shirts with her own face. She chalked up new citations on driveways. Her final act? Filing a goldenrod community arrest warrant against Lana, complete with a wine cork seal. She stormed the next HOA meeting, climbed on a table, hit play on a karaoke machine, and sang, "I Will Survive." Then she tripped, fell off the table, and landed in a heap of red, white, blue glitter. The board unanimously expelled her from all future civic involvement. For good measure, her decorative lemon bars were rebranded Judgment Squares by the community. Weeks later, the district attorney made it official. Charges: embezzlement, harassment, misuse of authority, impersonating an officer. Karen was arrested while live streaming. Her mug showed a frizzed hairdo, smeared eyeliner, and defiant glare was memed into oblivion. Karen the Lawless trended for 2 days. In court, she tried to defend herself using her own blog posts as character references. The judge handed down the verdict: 14 months in county jail, full restitution, 10-year ban from all HOA activity, and mandatory participation in the Ridgeview Community Cleanup Program. Her first assignment? Trash duty along the very street she once ruled. In a reflective vest, picking up discarded flyers of her own face, Karen whispered, "You're welcome," as Lana passed by with a quiet nod. The neighborhood threw a block party that night. The kids drew chalk art on the sidewalks that read, "Now Karen free since 2025." And right by the newly designated public parking zone, a commemorative sign was installed. "You may now park freely." Justice, they say, wears many faces. In Ridgeview Court, it wore a police badge and a subtle smile.